So welcome back folks, this is Shardul Gavande from Ace Knowledge, and in this video we will understand practically how intent works. So here I have created a project with main activity as a default activity. So we need two activities, right, to pass data from one activity to another. So let's first create a second activity over here. New empty activity, and yes, so let's give a name to this activity as main activity 2. So this is our second activity where our text will be displayed. So now second activity has been created. Let's start with the design part first. We'll go in the XML file of our main activity. We'll remove this and write a relative layout. Okay, we'll remove this by default text view. We'll go into the design and we'll simply drag and drop edit text over here as we want to input some things. So here is a here it is called as a plain text, so let's drag and drop over here. Let's just edit the text over here. Let's just not keep text by default text. We'll give as hint so that user will understand what he should enter into that particular edit text. So Android :hint equal to double quotes. In your double quotes we'll say your message. Okay, so now next, so you can see over here a very blur text has been seen over here, that is your message. We'll zoom into it and let's see. So we can have a view as your message. Okay, so this is Android hint. Now let's drag and drop a button. Okay, now let's edit some properties of this button. We'll remove this. We'll go into the strings, values, strings. We'll give the text name of button. String name is equal to double quotes send name of the string, and what do we want to appear as text on a button is send. Okay, now we'll call this particular text over here as text double quotes @string send. Okay, so done with the designing part. Now let's come to our main activity for coding. So now here what we want to perform is user will type his message over here in the edit text, and on clicking on send, this particular message will be shown on some other activity, or you can say your second activity, or in this case we have our main activity 2. So this message should be displayed on this particular activity. Okay, so let's start with the coding. Let's first give the name, proper naming convention for a GUI components. Let's edit it as, let's give ID as message and button ID as send. Okay, align start below message /message. Okay, so now let's start with the coding part. We'll declare the GUI components over here. We have text view, we have edit text in our very first main activity. So edit text with its name as message. Second, we have button with name as, let's give it a name as ptn_send semicolon. Here it gives an error to, so that it says that you need to import a particular class. So let's import the class. Okay, now let's declare those GUI components over here as message equal to edit text find view by id r.id dot the name in the XML file for this particular edit text. which is nothing but msg message. Okay, same for button, btn underscore send equal to button find view by id r dot id dot send. Okay, now let's create listeners for this particular button, as every button has a ear through which it listens a particular event and performs the appropriate actions. Okay, so now let's create listeners. btn underscore send dot set on click listener new view on click listener. Okay, so our method has been created. So now let's start with the navigation part. So for navigating or redirecting or passing your data from one activity to another, we use the terminology in Android called as intent. Okay, so now let's see how intent works. So we need to first create intent over here in the button. So here it says android dot content dot intent. So this class needs to be imported for using intent. So let's import this particular class. Okay, by pressing alt and enter, it automatically got imported. So you can see over here it's imported. Import android dot content dot intent. Okay, so let's create intent as intent, name intent, and then object as intent equal to new intent. In the parameters will be your current activity, which is nothing but main activity dot this comma and your activity to where you want to navigate your text, which is main activity to dot class. Okay, make sure that this is dot this and this second one is extension as dot class. Okay, semicolon. Next, now we have created intent. Now we need to pass that particular data which we will enter in edit text, right? So for that reason we have put extras, we have put extra term. Okay, so now let's see how it works. We'll call this intent dot put extra. Now here we can see, as you can see, there are many put extras. So among this, which put extras we need to choose? So the answer is we need to choose string, this one, string name and the character value. You have to take string parameter as string and its value. So we'll select this one. We'll create a string as, let's say, give the name of the string as message and its value as the value now this value will be nothing but your this message, this edit text term, edit text name, which we have declared over here. Okay, so it will be again the same message dot get text. Now why this get text? Because it will get the text which has been entered in this text box, or you can say simply edit text. Okay, so this is the terminology get text which is used. Okay, so message dot get text dot toString. Now why this toString? Because this particular put extra, we have taken this as a value in the parameters as string and value, but we have edit text as object. So to convert that object into string, we use the extension as dot toString. Okay, and then semicolon, so that it is understood by Android that it should convert that particular object to string and then pass to the second activities. So for that reason we use as dot toString. Get the parameters, get the name and extension as dot toString. Okay, so now the last part is start activity, and we'll pass that intent over here. Okay, so this is the coding for your main activity. Now let's come to your second activity, where you need to show that particular message on this activity. Okay, so over here now we'll first declare our text view. Let's first give I think we have not dragged and dropped a text view. Yeah, we have not dragged and dropped it. So let's first take a text view over here. Let's get into design, text view, drag and drop this text view over here. Let's give id for the text view as txt underscore display, and in strings we'll give the name as string name is equal to display, and the output also as a display. Okay, so here we'll call that particular text as android colon text at the rate string display. Fine. Now let's declare that text view over here, text view equal to, let's give a name as text display semicolon. Now we'll declare that text view over here as text display equal to text view find view by id r dot id dot txt underscore display. Okay, so now here we need to get that particular intent over here as we want to display that message. So we'll use the terminology called as get intent, or you can say get extras. Okay, so here we will set now we have to set that particular string over here in this text view. So we'll say as text display txt text display dot set text. That means it will set that particular text which we are calling from the main activity over here in this text view. So set text, and in that we will call intent, or we can say get that particular intent. So we will write as get intent dot get extras dot get string, get that particular string which we have passed, and we'll enter that string name. The string name is here as message, so we'll call this string value string name over here as message, which means that the string name message has this particular value message dot get text, which is nothing but your edit text value. So it will show it over here automatically as we are calling that particular string. Okay, so now let's run this program, but before running we have to call this method, on click method. We have not called that method, so let's call this method over here on the button as android colon on click equal to on click, the name of the method. Is it the same? Yeah, on click, it's the same name. So now let's run this application and see the output. Okay, so here we have got the screen layout screen. So let's test it. We'll type a message as hello folks, and we'll see whether this particular message has been viewed on our second activity. So we'll hit the send button, and yes, we can see that hello folks has been appeared over here on the next screen. Okay, so that is the use of intent to pass data from one activity to another. So that's it from this video. Thank you very much, and please do subscribe.